Find the average rate of change of the function 2 divided by negative 2x minus 7 on the interval from negative 2 to 5. So a couple of things that we need to note is that when we're given this interval notation right here, this is your x1 value and this is your x2 value. These are two x values that have been given. Also note that when we say average rate of change, all we're doing is slope. So really what it's telling us is to find the slope between negative 2 and 5, but we have the added steps of we have to plug these into our function in order to find the corresponding y values. And so I want to walk through this with you because it's not the slope that throws us off, it's this function and finding those y values. So let's go ahead and look at our calculator. Now I want to take negative 2 and plug it into this function. So here's my calculator that you have underneath your homework problems. So I'm just going to go ahead and set up this to be what the function is we're using. We're going to have a 2 on top, and on the bottom we have negative 2x minus 7. Now you can see I don't have any answer showing up because this is an equation, but I want to show you this is what I'm starting with in case yours is different. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace that x with an empty parentheses. Now for my problem, it has an interval of negative 2 to 5, so I'm going to plug in negative 2 here, so negative 2. Once I plug negative 2 in here, you see this is kind of a crazy decimal, and I'm not going to be able to execute and get the correct average rate of change or slope if I rounded this. And so I'm going to click on the fraction, and I'm going to use this fraction for the value of negative 2. Now if you want to keep here what I have, I can hit enter, and it'll just kind of float up here. But you can always come back in here and say, okay, I want to do this again, but now I want to plug in 5 for that x value. So again, kind of a crazy decimal, so I'm going to use my fraction. And I'm purposely showing you these steps so you can see kind of the process and where these numbers come from. Now that I have an x1 value and a y1 value, and I have an x2 value and a y2 value, I want to execute slope. And again, the online calculator is the best tool for using this. So I'm going to set up my fraction, and remember that equation was y minus y over x minus x. And so I'm just going to plug in my values as I go so you can see where they come from. So I'm first going to do the negative 2 over 3 here, and then I'm going to do negative 2 over 17. Now this minus right here is from the formula, and they're both negative from my answers over here. And then I'm going to take the x values that correspond. So since 2/3 corresponds with 2, I'm going to put a negative 2 there. And because negative 2 over 17 corresponds with positive 5, I can put a 5 here. So this is my slope formula, y minus y over x minus x. And then look, again, crazy decimal. So I'm going to go ahead and hit fraction, and that would be the best answer. And in your instructions it says give an exact answer, so the correct answer would be 4 over 51. So just a reminder, from this problem, and we can see this problem here, find the average rate of change, just slope, of the function on the interval. This is my x value 1, this is my x2. I'm going to have to plug them in the equation to find the y's, and average rate of change is just your slope. And you can see how using this on-screen calculator that toggles between the decimal and the fraction is very beneficial so that we're not using rounded numbers here. I can see all my results. I can put in my slope formula. Don't forget this is a minus from the formula. And then you don't want to use this value. You want to use an exact answer of 4 over 51. So I hope this helps with this problem.